Greetings and welcome. As you come on in, please type a 7 in the chat if you could see me and hear me. I think everything looks good on my end. Greetings and welcome to SEM Mondays, which started out as a weekly open Q&A show and has expanded from there thanks to, but as a way to be able to support you during this pandemic, during this health crisis. And I am going to definitely continue to include the group non-material source energy medicine sessions, which is an energy healing modality. It's an energy healing component of source energy medicine that will continue to be part of SEM Mondays, likely for quite some time. It looks like COVID-19 is going to be with us for many months to come. And the threat of experiencing COVID-19 is very real, and I think at the forefront of most humans' minds these days, regardless of where in the world you live. And part of the conversation is going to be today really explaining the logic behind the rationale behind the calibrated efforts to be able to help to understand logically who will experience COVID-19, who won't, and why, right? What's the difference between those two? So the first part of our time together today is going to be open Q&A. Then I'm going to talk about the COVID-19 piece, and then we'll wrap up with the group energy healing session. And so if you are new to Source Energy Medicine, new to SEM Mondays Live, this is a really fantastic place for you to be every Monday. I think it's a phenomenal way to start your week off right, even before COVID-19, and now especially with the energy healing session. I think it's really, it gives me a great sense of peace knowing that we have some Mondays. God willing, every Monday I'll be here to answer your questions, to help to support you to get started with Source Energy Medicine, or perhaps help you to take your next step. And since we expanded from just, very basics of source energy medicine in a Q&A format, we have a lot of people from our online workshops who are showing up on some Mondays now to join in community and to experience the energy healing as well, which I love. So super grateful to YouTube. I never thought I would speak those words. Super grateful to YouTube to have the opportunity to connect with you, all from, the safety and comfort of our own homes. So if you are new, just type a new or a 1 in the chat, or I have grown to talk about a transformation. I have grown to love emojis, so please, throughout our time together today, shoot some emojis, share some love. And if while you are watching this, if you think of someone who would be interested in source energy medicine, even if they're just interested in the group energy healing session, YouTube makes it so easy to share a video, a live stream with them. And it's important for you to know that the energy healing sessions are equally effective whether you're watching this with me live or you're not. You're watching this in replay. You could be watching this in replay 10 years from this original broadcast. And there is definitely huge benefit to allowing yourself to experience the energy healing session. If I were not me, I would be honestly experiencing it once or twice a day. It certainly seems like there's a serious shortage of peace and calm and certainty during this health crisis. And, part of the reason why I'm offering these energy healing sessions for free every week is to offer you a bit of respite, a chance to unplug from that, and an opportunity for you to allow yourself to continue to be able to heal yourself in deeper and faster, more profound ways. So if you have questions, please go ahead and type them into the chat. And let me just check my notes and see how we're doing here. The thing that is funny, because Milo, who does most of our tech, gives me so much poking in the ribs about this. Just in case you don't know, my name is Stephen Pollitt, and I am the creator of Source Energy Medicine, and I've been sharing Source Energy Medicine since 2005. So it's really fantastic to, to 2005 we didn't have any of this. So if you are relatively new to source energy medicine, it is absolutely a fantastic time for you, in that it's never been easier to learn everything that you need to learn about source energy medicine. The free mini course, the quick start guide, is a relatively new development. Before that, it was just a bunch of emails and attachments, and everything was kind of scattered, and a lot of people missed very, very important parts of the quick start guide. The quick start guide includes everything that's essential to your journey with source energy medicine: our charging labels, bunch of videos that help you to there's actually one video that is 7 simple steps to getting started with source energy medicine to make even the quick start guide easier. And a couple of years ago, I decided to transition to offering all of our workshops online. And now, I've been giving myself a really hard time, because for me, has been a super steep learning curve. And now it seems like I'm ahead of the game, in that if I was, still doing live events, it would be a long time before we'd be able to have a live event, and it would be very, very different than anything that we've done before. Yet to see, right, how we will gather in community moving forward. It may just be very small groups for some time to come. So super grateful to have not only YouTube, but now to have all of our workshops available online. They're all designed so that you get to go at your own pace, which I love. Facilitating a live workshop is tricky, because you have folks who are falling behind and folks who are falling asleep and getting bored. And with offering the workshops online, you choose your pace, right? And if you want to stop and pause or talk to somebody, take notes, you're not going to miss anything. So pretty sweet. Just going to pause here real quick and scan the chat for questions. Gosh, thank you all for your kind words. Very, very cool. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. I don't see any questions in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and segue into a couple of announcements that I have. There's a bunch of questions that have come in recently. Folks who are curious about the special masterclass that we put together to support you during this COVID-19 pandemic. And I think it's important to mention that, most questions are, can I still register? Yes, you absolutely can. And you really haven't missed anything. Everything is archived. Everything has been professionally edited. And what you'll learn in the masterclass will serve you for the rest of your life. It really is emergency preparedness for acute conditions. Acute conditions are characterized as rapid and sudden onset. So, yeah, colds, flus, vomiting, diarrhea, migraine headaches, nausea, everything and anything that seems to come out of the blue, you'll learn in the master class. So I'll ask Milo to include links to the master class, because there are so many folks who are asking questions about this. I created a video that's a sneak peek into the master class, so you can do a walkthrough with me and see exactly what's in there before you register. We kept the registration fee as low as we possibly could. It's $111. And if deferring the payment for 30 or 60 days or breaking up the registration into a couple of payments would be helpful, I'm committed to enabling everyone who has sincere and honest interest in participating in any of our workshops, that one way or another we'll figure out a way to enable you to have those experiences. So one of the things that we have to support everyone is a Source Energy Medicine Scholarship Fund. And because of this, so many folks out of work, our scholarship fund is exhausted. So I'm not going to do another fundraising campaign during all of this. It just doesn't seem appropriate. So I have been funding the scholarship fund So you can contribute to the scholarship fund anytime, not just during our fundraising campaigns. If you simply go to source-energy-medicine.com, you'll see a link to click for our scholarship fund. That's totally simple and straightforward. So, our scholarship fund helps to ensure that everyone around the world has full and complete access to everything that we offer, whether it is one-on-one non-material source energy medicine session, or the emergency class, emergency preparedness master class, or our fundamentals workshops for that matter. So I think, yeah, so while I'm talking about the COVID-19 thing, I'm kind of always accepting healing requests. So during the energy healing section, it's an opportunity. I'll prompt you when we get closer, but I'll prompt you to choose one goal or one challenge to focus on, and very specifically one. So you could start to think about what it is that you would like to receive during this session. And the chat is open for healing requests. You could always email them or post them inside of any of our community forums. Keep in mind, as YouTube warns, welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Just be sensitive of what you post in there, right? This video in the chat is available in replay. So you don't have to tell me what your healing request is in order for you to receive that blessing, that gift. However, a lot of folks think speaking it or writing it, communicating it somehow helps. So whatever is your preference, just know that requesting in some form of communication with me is not essential for you to be able to receive your blessing. So, and the chat box will remain open for questions as I go ahead and talk about the COVID-19 thing. And I'll circle back and check and hopefully be able to keep up with it all. So, COVID-19, what really determines who will experience it and who won't? I have to back up and fill in some technical parts because I don't really want to leave anyone behind. If you have been studying source energy medicine for any length of time, you know how much I talk about calibrated energy level. There are some videos on our YouTube channel where you can learn more about calibrated energy levels and how it affects your moment-to-moment, day-to-day life. When we're done here, it might be helpful to check them out. They're more in depth than what we have time for today. But the essence of it, the basis of it is I have adopted Dr. David Hawkins' scale of calibrating energy. And it's a scale that's based on 0 to 1,000. And the reason why I love this scale is on that scale, 200 is the dividing line between helpful and not helpful. So it's a scale that's based on logarithms, which basically means, in case you don't remember from high school or junior high school, wherever we learned about logarithms, small changes are profound, right? Hawkins stated in one of his books, might be Power versus Force or Truth versus Falsehood, that an increase of 5 points of calibration would be monumental. 5 points increase in one lifetime would be monumental. And we have folks within Source Energy Medicine to transform hundreds and hundreds of points in a very short period of time, certainly within one lifetime, within a year for most people. So, it's interesting to have that perspective, and yet, 0 to 1,000 is a brilliant scale, 200 the dividing line between helpful and not helpful. Why is this important? Because all pathogens, all dis-ease, all areas of imbalance or lack or limitation all calibrate below 200. So the only way to experience any of those is to have a matching aspect. So if we're talking about COVID-19 here. So if the physical aspect of, let's use client A's being calibrated below 200, depending on where it's calibrated. So you could calibrate COVID-19, you could calibrate the physical aspect of a being. And the way the testing is done, like Dr. David Hawkins used very precise kinesiological tests, right? He did a form of muscle testing, a form of kinesiology, applying pressure to the arm. So you can calibrate using finger muscle testing. You can calibrate using any form of dowsing. There are a lot of, and it's interesting because Dr. Wayne Dyer was a huge fan of David Hawkins. And in Wayne Dyer's film, I forget what the title of it is, there's one scene where Wayne is in the background talking to one of the production assistants, and he's actually teaching him how to muscle test. But I learned about Dr. Hawkins at a Wayne Dyer event here in Denver, probably 2004 or so. And in those days, Dr. Hawkins was not publishing with Hay House, and Wayne Dyer had Dr. Hawkins' books available for sale at his events, and Wayne was not making a penny on any of this. He thought it was vitally important information to share. His books are really, Dr. Hawkins' books are really, really tough to read, and yet filled with gold, no question about it. Power versus Force and Truth versus Falsehood are two of his more popular books. They're now with Hay House. He switched to Hay House not long before he died. But that's a story for another day. Not his dying, how he switched to Hay House, another Wayne Dyer contribution. So, if you calibrate COVID-19, and let's just say arbitrarily for example, this is not data, it's not based on any energetic test, it's simply for example. If COVID-19 calibrates on the Hawkins scale at 85, and the physical aspect of client A's being calibrated at 85, the likelihood of client A experiencing COVID-19, I would say, is extremely high. 99%, if not 100%. It is almost a guarantee. Now, there's so much talk the last 15 or 20 years about the law of attraction. The law of attraction is really a lesser law of cause and effect, universal law of cause and effect. Cause and effect is like the grandmother of all universal laws. The calibration of the physical aspect of their being at 85 is cause, and then COVID-19 is a vibrational matchup, and it becomes the effect, right? It becomes the effect of the vibrational cause. So one of the intentions with source energy medicine is to transform every aspect of our being from wherever it is currently calibrated, which, if you're a fan of Dr. Hawkins, his research indicates that 87% of the human population calibrates below 200. That in itself is the reason why so many people are going to experience COVID-19, unless they do something about the calibration of the physical aspect of their being. And honestly, outside of source energy medicine, I don't know of a way to be able to transform the calibration of every aspect of our being, let alone just the physical or mental, emotional, or spiritual, but every aspect of our being safely. And, it doesn't take a huge amount of time to actually achieve that. In fact, during the group energy healing session that we're going to do in just a few moments, that is the main intention. What I will be offering you is that transformative experience of the calibration of every aspect of your being. So, yes, 87% of the human population calibrates below 200, but that's not karma, it's not destiny, it's not punishment, it's not God's wrath. It's simply humanhood fouling up a completely perfect system, right? Our human physiology is amazing when it calibrates way above 200 so yes, 87%, and yet we each have our own ideal energy level. And that's a story for another day. But if I energetically test, is there a human on this planet whose ideal energy level is below 200? I get no. Now, if you are highly proficient at testing and you ever test that question using those words and get a yes, then let me know. I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. But that affirms that it's not karma, it's not retribution, it's not penance, it's nothing other than human stupidity, right? Human error, and a big part of the way I see source energy medicine is just helping us to get back on course. Because at my ideal energy level, my body is self-balancing, self-healing, self-correcting. One of the reasons why I haven't had any of the signs or symptoms of any of the chronic challenges I experienced before source energy medicine, or the reason why I have not experienced a cold or a flu or anything since 2005, is because the calibration of every aspect of my being has been high. It's been at my ideal energy level, with the exception of very few instances where I almost got sick, but I didn't because I transformed my energy level. So it's, for me, it's like funny and embarrassing all at the same time. Because once I reach my ideal energy level, it's not like a college degree that you earned honestly. And if you do earn a college degree honestly, no one can ever take that away from you. Our ideal energy level can be fragile in the first year or two, mostly because of the influence of the environment that we live in, right? There never before has there been levels of fear that we're exposed to. Never before has there been a more polluted planet, a more toxic planet, from any perspective that you could possibly look at it. So, those who have a calibration in close proximity to, if we stick with the 85 example, 84, 85, 86, I would say pretty much guarantee, simply cause and effect. And then those who have an energy level calibrated above 200, even if it's 201, is likely far enough away, again, remember it's a scale that's based on logarithms, that you'd be fine. Now, 201 is way better than 85, especially if you think about it in terms of Hawkins' statement that an increase in 5 points in one lifetime would be monumental. 85 to 205 is quite a leap, or 201 is quite a leap, and yet 201 is pretty lousy compared to your ideal energy level. So your ideal energy level, lots of different ways of being able to look at it, but it is a scale that where the higher your ideal energy level is, I believe it's a reflection of the advancement or the progression of you as a soul, as an eternal spiritual being. That too, conversation for another day. To wrap this up, it's really simple. 201 higher, not only is COVID-19 not possible, but the things that would create any kind of dis-ease or imbalance or challenge in any aspect of life becomes less and less and less possible. And then the longer we are, once we achieve our ideal energy level and sustain that and maintain that, that's a whole new cause, and then you will experience the effect of that rather than 85 being the cause and then you experience the effect of that, right? The ramifications of that. So I hope that makes sense. And I'm just going to pause here, have a quick sip of water, and see if there are any questions. So if you have any questions about any of that, please type something into the chat. Whether you're watching this live or in replay, you can ask questions. I do my best to, especially with the replay stuff, to try and answer as many questions as I possibly can. There's a question, is it Fighty Cam? I hope. Asks, what would be the best way to start taking source energy medicine for someone just started it? So in the, I believe already in the description of this live is a link to the Source Energy Medicine Quick Start Guide. Click that, register for the Quick Start Guide, and that's the free mini course that I spoke about earlier. Contains everything, our charging labels, how-to videos, lots of super helpful content that is absolutely your best bet. And then keep showing up here on SEM Mondays for your questions and ongoing support. So, good question. I don't see any questions in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting things ready for our energy healing session. And if you are not familiar with our energy healing session, which is known as the non-material aspect of source energy medicine, when we're done, check out the video on YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google, and Google and YouTube are the #1 and #2 largest search engines in the world. So we could take massive advantage of that. You can simply you could go to our YouTube channel and you can search through all of the videos, but probably take you some time at this point. Or you could just type into search on Google or on YouTube, source energy medicine and energy healing, or source energy medicine and non-material aspect, and it'll show up, and check out that video. I think it would be super helpful. So the energy work, well, really within all of source energy medicine, the worst thing that can happen is nothing. We're simply transforming vibrational energy patterns. Even if we're working on something that is like a trauma or an emotion, we're not stirring that up that then you'd have to process in some way. We're simply transforming slow energy to fast energy below 200 to above 200. So because we're doing that, it is very much like walking into a dark room and turning on the light. Technically speaking, the darkness is still there. It's just having a different vibrational experience. It's now expressing itself as light. So while the work is completely safe, please use common sense. If you're sitting in a hot tub or in a swimming pool or driving, not probably the best opportunity to experience this work, in that a minimum of distractions on your end definitely helps to increase the receptivity for you. Within all of source energy medicine, you are always healing yourself, and in this scenario, I am simply acting as a guide. I'm helping you to remember that which you know but have forgotten. So a lot of people like to lie down or sit comfortably and close their eyes. Please only do that if you are in some place where it is completely safe and you are comfortable doing that. A lot of folks like to choose a spot just to focus their gaze upon. So yeah, minimum of distractions, and if that's not possible for you now, just check out the replay. I love that all of the SEM Mondays content is archived in a playlist, so it makes it easy for you to find. And you can simply, once you understand the work, you can just simply fast forward to the session and watch that part. So your role seems to be, for a lot of people, the most difficult, and that is your role is to do as little as possible, which is hard for humans, most humans, certainly hard for me, and simply allow, simply receive, and I'll prompt you through some things. So I turn off my camera when I'm doing this. There'll be a title slide up so folks know we're still broadcasting. There'll be some chanting in the background. Chanting has nothing to do with the energy healing. It's just there to let you know that we're still broadcasting and we weren't disconnected. The work is phenomenally fast. It'll probably be 5 minutes or so. And even though that is a ridiculously short amount of linear time, the work will continue to help you to be uploaded, manifest, experienced in every aspect of your life for hours to come, right? And then if you rewatch later today or watch tomorrow, that seems to enable us to go deeper, and it expands what is possible each time. So yeah. So before we start this, I just want to take a pause here. There is a pretty good lag between when I speak and when you hear. So I just want to make sure there are no questions about what we're about to experience. Again, if you want to post in your healing requests in the chat, I'll keep an eye out for that. And it's not essential that I know, but feedback that I've heard from so many people, it definitely helps. It can help to contribute to the positive experience. So, I don't see anything else on my outline that I wanted to make sure I mentioned, and I'll go ahead and start getting the text set up here. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them into the chat, and I'll address them before I actually start the session. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath. And simply allow, if you are in a place that is safe and comfortable, allow your body to relax. And simply receive. Receive the gifts, receive the blessings. And if possible, try and see yourself the way Source sees you. Source sees your innocence, your perfection, your wholeness, the eternalness, the unlimited potential and possibility. Breathe into that vision. And as much as possible, simply allow, trust the process, and allow yourself to receive. take a nice deep breath. Feel the gentle pressure of the clothes against your skin. Continue to breathe comfortably. Continue to allow. Continue to receive. Continue to see yourself as if the blessing you are requesting has already been received. I would love to, whether you're watching this live or in replay, love to see some feedback, some comments, some how this is landing for you. And keep in mind, this work will continue to unfold for you. It's not like you have to wait for the blessings to be received, but it will continue to unfold for you. Findy asks, sorry, what I meant to say is, what would be the best way to start taking source energy medicine for someone just started to raise energy level? Perfect, and I apologize for not including that when we're talking about transforming our energy level. So it is the source energy medicine known as the energy level progression fusion number 1, ELPF1 for short, and that is essentially, that is the only source energy medicine that we take these days to be able to transform our energy level for wherever it is. We don't have to know where our current calibration is to our ideal energy level. So ELPF1 is in the first step of the sample protocol. So if you're following the sample protocol, you're already well on your way. And again, the intention of this group energy healing session here was to help to support you in that process, help to support you in transforming your overall energy level, every aspect of your being from wherever it currently is to your ideal energy level. So between drinking ELP Fusion number 1 and continuing to experience really any of the energy healing sessions that are part of SEM Mondays would support you beautifully in that. So, yeah. And there too, that this is the kind of conversation that the special master class is all about. So it gives me a great peace of mind knowing that I understand the calibration thing, and then the only thing for me to be aware of is how am I feeling, because feeling even exhausted or high levels of stress create challenge to my ideal energy level. And in the master class, talk about what are the things that challenge our ideal energy level the most, whether we're trying to achieve it or we have achieved it and we simply want to sustain that. So there's that is there's a lot to that conversation. And yeah, there have been questions about there are a lot of people who continue to shelter in place and want to participate in our online workshops. To make things really, really super simple for you, Milo put together a way for you to have 7-day full access to both of our fundamentals workshops. It's essentially a 7-day free pass. You have full access to both workshops, including the bonus material. And I am blown away to share with you, there was a gentleman last week who went through the 7-day free pass, and he finished both workshops, which I was shocked by, absolutely shocked by, and inspired, and he ended up going on to their non-material workshops because he wants to learn the energy healing. So my intention for this 7-day free pass was not to, have you go through both workshops completely, but that it would give you enough of a glimpse that you'll want to register, you'll want to own them, you want to have long-term access to them. So either way, I am grand. My commitment is to make it as easy as possible to share learning how to master source energy medicine with you. And there's massive benefit to mastering source energy medicine, ways that are just so hard to describe at times. And that is, that mastery enables me to have a tremendous sense of peace at this time, And that peace deepens knowing that I'm not the only one, right? That would actually lead to guilt, right? If I couldn't teach you what I know or teach you how to accomplish what I've accomplished, that would be guilt. That would not be peace. So it gives me a great sense of peace knowing that I can share it with you relatively easily, right? You do have to show up and do the work and watch the videos, but it is never been easier, never been more accessible, never been less expensive, less of an investment, both in terms of time away from home and work and financial investment traveling to Toronto or New York or Northern California or Virginia, various places where I used to do live events. So, God willing, I will see you back here next week for another installment of SEM Mondays Live. Between now and then, continue to check out the replay. Again, if I were you, I would watch it once or twice a day just for that respite, just for that peace of mind, for that assurance that my energy level is calibrated above 200, because that is the biggest game changer certainly in my overall healing experience, and that's been true for folks that I have witnessed since 2005. So I hope this was helpful for you. Continue to leave your questions, continue to shoot emojis, continue to share your love, and I will do my best to answer as many questions as possible. I just want to scan here real quick before I scram and skedaddle. And Jennifer says, "Hi, Stephen. I felt an essence of love and timelessness surrounding my heart and solar plexus, like a remembering of an aspect of self." So beautiful. Thank you for doing these blessings. Thank you, Jennifer. My goodness, thank you for receiving that so well and for being able to articulate your experience, which I sometimes struggle with. So, Amana shares, "Hey, folks, the 7 free days is the real deal. It helped me to know this further training was good for me now. They make it easy and stress-free. Thanks to Stephen and Milo." Thank you so much for your kind words and your support, Amana. It really, really means a lot to me. And on that note, I will wish you all continued blessings on your journey with Source Energy Medicine. Bye for now.